And moving on to the next scrap, man, we've got Donald Cerrone versus Jim Miller 2. In the first one, Donald Cerrone put on a pretty convincing victory over Jim Miller. He beat him up a little bit, knocked him out with a head kick. And now they're rematching 7 years later. That first fight was in 2014. That's a long time ago, man. And Donald Cerrone is sitting at a plus 180 underdog, which is so tempting to pick. But I am going with the minus 210, minus 225 favorite in Jim Miller here. I just think that Jim Miller, I just think he's a little bit less done, you know. Like, no disrespect to Cowboy Cerrone, he's taking the fight on short notice. He's cut weight twice in the last month to 155. That can't help his chin, which already does seem to be compromised a little bit with his older age. And yes, it's at 170, and he's going to be so much bigger than Jim Miller because Jim Miller's 5'8" with a six, and Cowboys are only 6'1". Jim Miller, you know, he's not even that big for a lightweight as well himself. But I just think that even on the short notice, I think that Jim Miller, he's been training for a full camp against Bobby Green, who in my opinion is a lot more dangerous than Donald Cerrone is, even at Donald Cerrone at 170. I think Jim Miller's going to get this one done. I mean, all of a sudden, you know, he's been knocking these guys out on that have been making their debuts, and I respect it. But Jim Miller is a really well-rounded skill set. He's got power in the hands to knock out these guys that are making their debuts, like Eric Gonzalez. He knocked out Nicholas Motta as well. Before that, he did lose to Vince Purcell, who's all right. Joe Salicki's all right, I guess. He beat Roosevelt Roberts by armbar. I mean, that win hasn't aged too well. But Jim Miller, you know, a couple of good KO wins, and Donald Cerrone's coming off that KO loss to Alex Morono in the first round. It was quite hard to watch, you know, like he kind of just took a couple of punches and just couldn't really take it anymore, you know. He got the draw with Nico Price, which is what it is. He got knocked out by McGregor, he got knocked out by Gaethje. Like, Donald Cerrone's taken some damage, man, recently. I mean, so is Miller, but I think Miller's gonna get the knockout here. I really do think that, I think the fight probably will stay on the feet. I've seen a lot of people thinking that Miller's gonna gas in the first and Cerrone's gonna come back in the second and the third, but even then, like, I just don't really understand how you can trust either of these two guys. You can't really trust them. I still can't trust Miller, even though he's coming off two wins. I can't really trust Cerrone, especially based off that last performance as well. The two weight cuts in the last month. I feel like the cards are more stacked on Miller. I feel like there's definitely a little bit of an advantage for Cerrone, the fight being at 170, because he's going to be so much bigger. But I think Jim Miller is gonna. I think Jim Miller's gonna put on a good performance. I do think he's gonna finish Donald Cerrone. Either way, I don't think the fight goes the distance. I think Jim Miller should be able to get it done. And even if Jim Miller gets it done, like, is there a chance of a trilogy? Like, Donald Cerrone, he's got 48 fights under Zuffa. He wants to fight 50 fights under Zuffa. This will be his 49th. Like, will he fight Joe Lozon? Because he said he wants to fight Joe Lozon. But maybe if he loses to Jim Miller, would he be motivated to fight in a trilogy, potentially? Like, who knows with this one, man, but I'm going to be going with Jim Miller. I genuinely do think that Jim Miller will find the knockout on this one here. And, I mean, even then, he's not even that much younger than Donald Cerrone as well, but I do believe Jim Miller should get the knockout here.